Well, hello, hello. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. This month, our topic is focused on event management, specifically on how to merge events in Salamander Live. Now, the content I'm going to be covering today is a bit more advanced, so having some knowledge on the events management functions within Salamander Live, as well as our other tracking solutions, is going to be to your advantage. Now, if you're all new to this, please ask questions or reach out to me afterwards, and I can point you to some resources that can help you get started. Now, as always, our free monthly training calls are recorded and will be posted on our YouTube channel, so you can reference this training as needed. So in Salamander Live, for each event that is created through any of our applications, there is an option for you to join one or more events together. What this does is it allows you to have your agencies work seamlessly with one another that are responding to the same event. So if you're both going to the same event and you're from different organizations and you have your own Salamander Live applications, you're able to merge those together and create that common operating picture. Now, there's two ways to merge events. One option is an internal join, and the other is through a pin join. In both options, once events are combined into one event, the action cannot be undone. So let's first talk about the internal join. So an internal join, what this is a feature that allows two or more events that were started in various Salamander applications to be joined together to create one event. So for example, if you have an event that was created through Rapid Tag, and then you have an event that was created through the track app. That information is synced up to Salamander Live. So if you go into Salamander Live, you're going to see two events that's listed. One that was created through RapidTag, one is that is created through the track app. Now, if you want those two applications to talk to one another, and so that those users see that same information, you'll want to do an internal join to merge those two together. Again, that's if you have access to the events within Salamander Live. So that's the main thing, is that the user has to have access to all those events they're looking at joining. They have to have access to that. So there are three rules that are imposed when completing an internal join in Salamander Live. So the first one is that two events that were started from a plan cannot be joined. So the reason for this is because each plan has its own set of directives. So when you're trying to merge two plans together, it's going to cause some conflict. So again, this rule, it only impacts those organizations that are subscribed to the plans feature. The second rule in here is that two command events started from the same computer cannot be joined. This is again due to something called circular reference. So since command is a PC-based solution, the operation of both events requires the results from the other. So what this does is it causes the conflict when you're trying to merge them into one, because it's trying to read it from the same computer, and so it's sourcing from one internal event. So that's why you got that conflict. Again, rule number two only impacts you if you have command. And last, when joining or when performing an internal join, the first event that is selected is going to be set as the parent event. So what this means is that once you complete that join, only the parent event name is going to be displayed within the events list and the event reports. Okay. So let's take a look at the internal join within Salamander Live. So I'm going to pull up Salamander Live here. We'll walk through that process. So here I have an event that's created within Salamander Live. So you'll see in here, I've got a couple events that's created. I'll just filter this so that just kind of filter this out here. All right, so I've got a couple of events that started in here. So a couple things. If you're going to be managing events, I recommend adding all of these different columns in here. So obviously you're going to get event name, event start date, event end date, and application. So those are the defaults, but if you are subscribed to the plans feature, I definitely recommend adding the plan name column. I also recommend adding in the joined. You'll also get the organization name that's there by default. you could possibly get the primary event. Again, if you want to add that, definitely recommend it. But usually for this, I usually recommend this for these four that's in the middle here for the pin join, which we'll talk about next. Okay, so how to add these columns, simply go to your edit columns icon. It's the third icon to the top right. Just click on it, and simply all you're going to do is click on the column under the hidden column, add it to the visible. You can click drag and drop to change your sort order, and then just click done, and then you'll get all those columns in there. Okay. So an internal join, all it simply is doing is you're just clicking on a event. So for example, if I click on this event right here, so test evacuation, you see this? And I click on this one here, you're going to get this join icon that appears at the top right. Okay, so this is if you're selecting two events, okay, two events, you'll see that they were created from two different applications. Could they be the same application? Yes, as long as they don't meet those. They don't impose on those those three rules. Okay, so those two rules for plan and command. Okay, so you'll see here that this test evac event was created through SalamanderLive. Through a plan, you'll see that there's a plan on here. It's called evacuation. Okay. And then you'll see that this evacuation event was created through the track app. And what we're wanting is to merge those two together so that the data that's collected through the track apps for this event called evacuation can be seen by those that are connected to this test evac event that was created through SalamanderLive using a plan. Okay. So again, this third rule just states that whichever event you selected first is going to be the parent. So again, if I selected the test evac event and then I click the evacuation, that means that evacuation is going to merge into test evac at the end of my completion of this transaction. The test evac is going to stay. You're no longer going to see this evacuation event. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to click the two. You're going to click the join button at the very top. And then you're going to see it's going to show the event names. So it's telling you right here, it's you confirming that you are joining the evacuation event to the test evac event. Confirm that before you join, because once you join, this action cannot be undone. Okay. So once you're done, you simply click join. Once you complete the join, it's going to merge and combine those two events together. And now you should only see one event, which is the parent event that you selected first. Okay. In an internal join, again, as I mentioned, you've got to have access to those events. So it's all based on your permissions. They could be created by all different organizations, but you have to have access to those organizational events that were created. So that's the only thing. Okay. So if I go in here in an internal join, once I merge all the data that's collected within those applications on those two events are going to be merged and joined together. And this one didn't have any data in here. If I were to pull into the track app, I would obviously see this information as well. So if I go into my track app, which I will populate on my phone here, give me a second and I will share my screen with my track app. You're going to see that the data in there, you're going to see it's called test evac. Okay. So there it is, test evac. So if they were already in the event itself, all they need to do is back out of the event, go back in, and they should see that the event's been merged. Okay. So in this case, if I join this, you'll see that this is an actual planned event. So it's going to pull down all the planned assignments, all the planned resources, any scheduling that's happened. Okay. Because this track app event was merged with the plan event. So it's grabbing all that data. So if I go in here, you'll see that some of these people have not checked in yet. Obviously, if I check this in, this is going to be connected. If it's joined with other applications, this information is going to be shared across all those applications. So how many track apps you have joined in, they're going to see the exact same thing. In SalamanderLive, what we do in the track apps can be shared across there. Now, if you join this with the rapid tag event, you'll see that this data that's collected through the track app is going to be shared with your rapid tag. As long as you have rapid tag version 5. Rapid tag version 5 is the only solution out of the rapid tag softwares that we have out there that does two-way syncing. If you have a prior version to version 5, it does not do two-way syncing. Highly recommend you update your version if you were on a previous version to version 5. The only thing is that version 5 requires Windows 10 or above. So that's the only thing. All right, and it's a free upgrade. So just contact our support line and we'll be able to assist you with that upgrade. Any questions on an internal join? It's probably the easiest of the two to understand and how it works. Questions? No questions. All right, well, let's move on to a pin join. So a pin join, in this feature, organizations can use a 6-character pin to join events across different organizations and outside of their account. Okay. So this is all based off their user permissions. So if they don't have access to that organization, even though they're under the same account, or they're trying to join an event or 2 events from another account, maybe you have a joint event that's doing a cross jurisdictional event. You've got multiple counties, multiple departments. Maybe it's a disaster that's hit multiple areas, and you're pulling out all resources, but you're all using Salamander Live, and you're all in different accounts. This is the feature that you want to use to join and merge your data together, not a internal join. Okay. The only thing with the pin join is that security users have to have the administrator role or a role called pin management. Okay, so with the pin management role, this is usually added as a secondary role to a main role that has event management permissions. Oh, I see that there's someone here. Let me just click them to join in. I apologize. Just one second. Now, like I talked about on the internal join side, to ensure that you can see all pin information, there are some additional columns. So these are the ones I talked about earlier, is you want to have the joined pin, assigned pin, is active pin added to your columns. Okay. So you'll see in here the pin join. You'll see that when you select an event, you're going to see 2 icons that appear at the top. This first one is manage pin. The second one is join with pin. So we'll talk about those two, the differences between the two. So the manage pin. So this one is for the parent event. Okay. So in order to share a pin so other organizations can join the event, the user has to first generate a pin by clicking on the manage pin icon. So whoever is the parent of the event who wants to kind of be, if you're looking at an org structure or a hierarchy structure from an event management perspective, it's the one that's at the top. They're going to be the one that's going to be the main event organizer. Everybody else that joins in with the pin is going to be a child event. Okay. So what they're going to do, they're going to click on the checkbox, click manage pin, and they're going to activate a pin. Okay. So when they click yes, it's going to auto generate a 6-character pin. This 6-character pin is going to be unique to this event. So in this case, Summer Concert has this unique event pin. That's 3LDUJR, okay? So what that parent organization is going to need to do is they're going to need to send that pin, share that pin across all the other child events that want to join in, that they want to join in. Okay, so all they do is they provide that 6-character pin, and those other organizations can join into their event. It's that simple. So they can do either a phone call, text, email, it's completely up to you. Once that pin is generated and shared, the organizations, so the other organizations can then join into that event by clicking on the join with pin icon, which is, it looks like a pin. All they do is they click on their event, click on the pin icon, and then it's going to ask them to enter in a pin. So what you're going to do is you're going to enter that pin that you're provided into this area. Now, it is not case sensitive in this case, so you can type these in lowercase letters if you need to. However, it does have to be in the right order, and there's numbers and letters. Okay. Once you enter in that pin, you're going to see where it's going to say join. So all you're doing is it's saying join me your event. So this join is going to say your event. So you want to double check. It's going to have your account name or your organization name, and then your event name. Beneath that, it's going to say to. So who are you joining your event to? So it's telling you that you're joining this to Moosewood Police Department. That's the organization that you're joining them to. And their event is called Summer Concert. You verify that the information is correct and accurate. You want to make sure that that's correct. Once that is correct, all you do is click join. Once you click join, the two it's going to merge. Okay. So I'll walk through that process and I'm going to talk about some pin join rules. So on here, I'll go to my events list. So you'll see in here, I've got 2 plans. I just want to show you this right now. If I try to join these 2 planned events, okay, so these are 2 events that were started from a plan. I just want to show you this, what kind of error that you're going to get if you try to join 2 events that were created from a plan. You see that? If I click join, I'm going to automatically get this error message. So that's just telling you right now that you can't join multiple or events that were created from a plan. You can't join multiples together. That's all it's telling you. Okay. So in this case, if I want to do a pin join, I can pin join all these together. So if I wanted to, I can join all of these together if I want to first. So in this case, I want to, so here's my planned event called ABC evacuation. Okay, that was created from a plan. So let's say I want to do an internal join first. So yes, you can do an internal join in all your applications together and then create the pin. That's the best workflow right there. So these are all the same. You can see this, they have the same name convention. So it helps if you have multiple Salamander applications that you're utilizing for that event to try to keep a similar naming convention so that you know that those are for the same event. So I'll see in here, I've got ABC evacuation, ABC evacuation, ABC evacuation. One was created through the plan, one is created through RapidTag, one's created through RapidTag evac. We want all that data to merge. So again, the first event I select is going to be the parent. I select the second event. In this case, second, third doesn't matter anymore because they're going to be all merged into this one here. So I'm just clicking those. I'm going to do an internal merge first. See that? I'm doing an internal merge. I'm going to click on the join option at the top here. I'm going to merge those two together. You'll see join events doesn't have a naming convention right here because they all have the same name. So it's just saying ABC evacuation being joined to ABC evacuation. That's all it's saying. So go ahead and click join. And you'll see that they merged, and now I should only see one ABC evacuation event listed here. Okay. Now, if I want to create a pin for this event and share it to another organization that I don't have access to or another account, all I do is I click on the checkbox for that event, and you'll see those icons appear at the top, same icons. This time you'll see there's a manage pin and join pin. So I'm going to be the parent in this case, the parent event. So I'm going to be the one that's going to generate this pin. So I'm going to click on manage pin. Once I manage pin, I can just click yes, activate that pin. You're going to see it's going to auto generate. So this is the one I'm going to be sharing and giving out for the other organizations for them to join into my event. So that's all I'm doing. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to click OK. Oops. Copy. Click OK. Once you click OK, you'll see that under the assign pin, your generated pin is going to appear. You see that? That's why having these columns right here, it's going to really help you. So you'll see that here, Is active pin? It's active because we've activated it. I'm the primary event. So far, joined, yes, because I did some internal joins first. That's why it's joined. In this case, this join column is for internal or pin joins. It's for both. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is going to join in my other account. I'm going to go in here, log in to my other account, go to my events. Okay. I'm going to click on my event. So in this case, this is the other organizations. They're trying to join in. Their event, they called it evacuation event. Okay, so this is the event. All they're going to do is they're going to click on that checkbox. Again, they'll see those same icons. Again, you've got to have the administrator role. So it's got to be specifically administrator. Can't be administrator, no security, administrator, no medical, or org admin. It's got to be administrator. Or you add in that pin management role to an existing role that has access to events. All I'm going to do now is going to click on the join with pin. And I'm going to enter my pin. I'm just going to copy and paste that in here. You'll see that the information is going to populate in here. So my account is, the name of my organization is Sales Demo. My event's called Evacuation Event, and I'm joining this to this account that's called ABC Evacuation. Okay. So in this case, I want to verify, double check, make sure that this is correct. If it's correct, I click join. You're going to get this confirmed join. It tells you right now, if you join the two together, you're going to see additional assignments, collections, equipment, and people. Again, we're doing a merge. So it's going to merge all that data together. So if they have assignments that you don't have in your event, those are going to be added. If you have the assignments that are called exactly the same, spelled exactly the same, you're not going to have duplicates, okay? They're just going to merge those two assignments together and then merge your resources together into one assignment. Again, this action cannot be undone. I click OK. You'll see under the joined pin, now I see that pin. Okay. You'll see over here is active pin. Again, this is false because I didn't generate the pin. All I did was joined. I'm not the primary. I'm the child because I joined in. I'm the child event. Okay. And you'll see here join is yes. See, there's a question in here. Question on here first is my screen is blank. Is everybody seeing blink on here? Is anybody seeing my screen?
Yes, we see it, Leah.
You see it? Okay. Bridget, do you see it? Ah, okay. Operator, no problem. I'm glad you can see it now. Okay, so you'll see that this is join now. So if I go in here, I'm going to see additional assignments. Okay. Because this was created through a plan, that event that I joined was created through a plan, even though my event wasn't a plan, this event I joined in was a plan. The plan data, it fetches that information. So you'll see in the summary, in this case, it says this event is a child. Plan in this event is called evacuation. I didn't create that. The other organization created that plan. And that plan was called evacuation. Pin assign right here, and it's going to show you, just like on the parent organization side, it's going to show you all the other joined applications and users. Okay, so understanding the summary here is going to be important because right here it tells you exactly what the original event name was, whether it's the parent, the child, the coding system. So in this case, it tells you right here, this is the parent ABC evacuation is created through the coding as L, that stands for SalamanderLive. Okay. This is the user that created it, the date and the time, and if the end date. In this case, there's an internal join, internal join, internal join. Okay. In this case, these are the child. R stands for rapid tag. The coding for E is rapid tag evac. And then you'll see this is again L Salamander Live. Now, if you see T, T is for the track app, and the coding for the tag app is G. Okay. So I have all that written within my user guide. So if you're interested in seeing that, just go into user guide and you can reference that. But it's pretty simple. We try to keep the letterings different and similar enough to the actual application names. You can tell which is which. Okay. And you'll tell which one is joined in as a pin. So this really helps you really define who's joined into your event, how they joined in, were they an internal join or were they a pin join, and when they joined. So you'll see the entry date time. Okay. You'll see all the data populate through. So if there was data in here for like burn down to pins for like track apps and such, you'll see all that in here. So far, nothing in here for this one. And then if there was any scheduling that was added for that plan, you'd see them here within the pie chart. So this is all talking about you have to have some prior knowledge to the events management side for Salamander Live, because we're not going to dive too deep into that. But again, if you want to know more about this, reach out afterwards. I can give you more information, or I can direct you to some videos that you can watch. It kind of talks about each of these different components that we're going over here. Anybody that's checked in, you're going to see on here. So you'll see this is pulling in. So this is pulling in from Rapid Tag. I know that because I did this. And you'll see there's a resource timer and you'll see your chart. So again, this is a plan. So it's pulling in that plan chart. And then you'll see that there's one person that's checked in. Okay. And then you'll see that there is at the with Tag evac, there's 2 that's checked in. And these are all clickable. And then because you're joined in with the planned event, you can see on the plan side how many people are actually planned for this event. So the orange numbering systems after the / is what was planned. So who was planned for those particular assignments. These are all clickable. So for example, the shelter, we've got 2 individuals that's working there. So you got Amesbury, Anna, and Lisa. They have not checked in yet. You'll see that they are grayed out. So again, this goes back into some plan knowledge of how the plans feature works. When you activate that, what is pulled into Salamander Live and through the track app. Any questions on the pin join? All right, I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint presentation. There are some pin rules. So pin join rules, there's a lot more than on the internal join side. Internal join side, we only really had 3. This one, there's a lot more. I condensed this. So if you want the full list, I do have a join matrix document that you can find within Salamander University. And that you can view in its entirety. It has every possible join case scenario, whether it's our command system, Rapid Tag evac, Salamander Live, track app. There's just different combinations you can see in that. So that's why it's an actual matrix itself. But it's going to have information on both internal and pin joins. All right, so first one, the event that creates and shares the pin is going to be the parent of the event. So I touched on that already. Events that join with the pin is always going to be a child of the event. Okay, so they're always going to be a child. Bullet point 2, a child event cannot create a pin and become a parent for another child organization. So that is true. So once you were joined in as a child through a pin, some of those icons at the top will disappear for you. Okay, so that's just joining as a child. You're basically giving up some of your control to that event. And this is one of it, is that you are no longer able to see a manage or join pin. You're also not going to be able to end the event, which we're going to talk about right here in bullet point 3, is that the parent event will have full access to end and restart the event. Okay. Now, if the parent event, if they end the event, it's going to end the event for all the organizations that joined in with the pin. Okay. If they restart the event, it's going to resume the event for everybody as well. Okay, so the parent event is the one that controls the ending and restarting. Oops. The 4th tab on here, or bullet point on here, Salamander Live and track users that are logging into the parent organization, they're only going to see the parent event name. Okay, so that's what they're going to see. For those that are logged in through the child organization event, they're going to only see the child event name. Okay, so it's still keeping a separation between the event names. On the back end, it's all going to the parent event information. Okay. So it's tunneling and funneling through into the parent, but on the front end, everybody is still seeing their original name that they created. Okay, so this just kind of, we don't want to confuse anybody in that case. And by changing the organization or the event name to the parent, we're keeping everything the same. Okay, it's just that it's all funneling into one event and being shared across all of the adjoined applications. Next on here. So the parent event name is going to be used in reports. The same report information is going to be available for both parent and child events. That is correct. Okay, so just like an internal join on a pin join, the reports, it's going to have the parent event name on all the reports, but the data is exactly the same. So whether it's an internal join or pin join, what you're really doing is you're sharing your event data, okay, with everybody that's joined in. That's all you're doing. So you're going to see all your resources, all the check-in timestamps, checkout timestamps. You're going to see all the equipment that's been checked in to that particular event. They're going to, if you have any patients or evacuees that you're checking in through RepTake evac, you'll see that. If you are working off of a civilian account and you have civilians that are checked in, you'll see those pop in as well too. Okay, so those all that data is going to be available within the event reports, and it's the same across every single or every single organization, whether they are the parent or the child. And last but not least is that the parent and child events can delete their own respective events without impacting each other. So all this really means is that if for some reason, let's say the parent event, the parent organization, after the event is ended, let's say it's all ended, everybody's got their data. For some reason, the parent organization decides that they want to delete their event. If they delete the event in their system, it does not impact any of the child organizations that join in with the PIN. Those child organizations will still have access to those event reports unless they also go in and delete that event. Okay, so once the event reports are created, they're always going to be available for you no matter what, unless you go in and delete it. Okay. It's just like as if you had resources that were added for that event, and later you delete those resource records. Even though those resource records don't exist within your database anymore, they still exist within the event reports since they were a part of that report. So they're just always going to be a part of your reports no matter what, unless you delete them. Okay. Questions on this before I kind of walk through some of these through Salamander Live? Let's look at this event here. So you'll see in here, if I click, you see this, I still have access. So this is the parent organization or the parent event you should see, the parent event. So you see here primary, it's yes. So I sign pin yes. So you'll see when I click this option, I still have all the options. Now, if I had the child, you'll see I don't have those options anymore. So I'm just going to pull up the child event. So here it is. So you'll see parent event no, join with the same pin. You'll see that I don't have those options anymore. All I can do is I can edit my event name and that's about it. You can't even delete because remember, you can't delete an event until it's been ended. So if you even try to do it, it says you sure want to delete. It's going to give you an error saying you can't delete it. Okay. Okay. So you lose that control for that. Now, if the parent event ends it, I'm just going to show you this real quick. I'm just going to end the event right here. So I end the event. Let me just pull this so you can see both in the same screen here. So I'm going to end the event for the parent. You'll see this is the parent. I'm going to end the event. I click OK. If I refresh this, you see there's no end date. Again, the system Salamander Live updates every 5 minutes. That's just the time that we've set for that for the interval. But if you want to have it update sooner, just simply click the reload page and you'll see there's the end date. See that? So these dates and times should match up. So here 135, 135. Now, even if I click on it, once the event is ended, I can't resume it. You're just going to see the resume button, but I can't. You're unable to delete, unable to resume, unable to do anything, okay? So you can delete it if you want to. It's completely up to you if you want to delete it. Okay, you can still delete it. You just can't resume. So the resume option can only be done by the parent. So the parent, they can click on this button, resume. If I resume over here, I can refresh. You'll see the end date disappears. Reporting wise, if you look at the reports themselves, so again, there's a couple different ways to access the reports, but you can click into the event itself. So I can click into the event and click on the reports icon, right? And that's where you can see all your event data. Or you can click on the checkbox next to the event, and then you can click on the report icon. You will get the same list of reports. So either way, there's no right or wrong way to do it. It just depends on how you want to access the event reports. So in this case, if I pull up the people activity cost report, again, there's not much data in here. I'm going to pull up this report. I'm looking at the standard rates. I could pull this one. It's probably going to show 0 since I only have a rapid take person checked in. Okay. You'll see in here for this report, you'll see that I've only got the one person that's checked in so far. Okay. If I looked at the event cost report, an event cost report right here, depending on which report you have, some of it has the naming convention, some of it does not. You'll see ABC evacuation in there. This one over here, and cost summary, standard. Okay, you'll see that. Make it nice and large. So you see the event name is their original name, but the data is exactly the same. You see the data is exactly the same. Okay, so there's no difference. The only difference in here is the time, because I pulled this at 302. In this case, this is a different time zone versus 301. Okay. But you'll see the event name for the child stays, the parent, their event name stays. Any questions on this? Any questions? No questions. All right. Well, that's everything I have on my list here to cover for merging of events. Since there's only really 2 features on here, we covered all the rules. I'm going to go in here to Salamander Live and show you where that pin matrix or that join matrix document is located. So in Salamander University, if you click on that, you go into documents and it's under user guides. Is it under user guides? It might be under quick reference guides. Apologize. It's under quick reference guides. You'll see in here, we've got the join matrix. If you click on that document, you'll see it's a really large document. I mean, it's just a one pager, but the text could be a little bit small in here because we try to do multiple combinations. So if you're interested in seeing, you know, what are the rules, what happens, what you can and cannot do, I highly recommend you review this document. Kind of will help you in letting you know what happens when you do an internal join, what you can and cannot do for each. Okay. If you have questions on this, again, please reach out. Here's my contact information. So you can reach back out to me right here. You can call me at this number. This is our 800 number. Or you can email me at training@salamanderlive.com, and I would be glad to provide you with additional resources to any pointing you of other videos that you can go back and review if you need to for event management. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining in. You're welcome, Bridget. Have a wonderful day. If you have others that want to join in, I will be doing this again later this month. I believe that's June 25th. So come back and join in. All right. Thank you, everybody. Take care.